Joining us on the line now is Debby Campbell. She's the daughter of the late Glenn Campbell. We're going to be having a chat about her life and career in music. She joined her father's show in 1987 and for the next 24 years toured the world with him. Following her father's diagnosis with dementia, she's fully aware of the effects of this debilitating disease. And to help raise awareness, a percentage of proceeds from her new single Sunflowers will be donated to Alzheimer's McLaughlin Research Institute. Welcome to the show, Debby.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. And how wonderful to be able to give back like this to this research institute in the States. We have a better connection with Debby Campbell. Are you with us, Debby?
I am. Can you hear me good?
I can. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's brilliant.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we really didn't hear much of what you were saying, just about the beauty of being able to give back and that some of the money is going to be going to this research institute in America.
Yes. It's such a hard disease, and it was really hard to watch with Dad. And so now if I can donate my services anywhere to go sing somewhere to raise money, I want to do it,
Yeah, definitely.
The only way I can do that, to give back.
Yeah. It must have been, as you say, it must have been heartbreaking to watch. Anyone who's had any experience of dementia and Alzheimer's in the family will know it's really, really heartbreaking, isn't it, to see your loved ones like that?
Right. My grandparents, my dad's mom and dad, they got forgetful in their 80s, before they passed. And for Dad in his early 70s, just kind of, I was in denial for a while, because I'd go and be with him and he'd be perfectly fine. And then he'd go away for an hour or two, in his mind. And it was really hard for me in the beginning to take it,
Yeah.
And it's just a long goodbye, because you lose them twice. You lose them with the disease, and then you lose them again when they pass on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very sad. So tell us about you and your career in music. Did you get into music quite early? Did you feel like it was your destiny in a way?
Never. I never thought it was my destiny. I don't know. I guess I was just too busy trying to fit into all the marriages between my parents and kids and where I fit in life, and then eventually I just ended up getting married and having kids of my own. And it wasn't until, I dabbled in singing when I was younger. I played with a rock band when I lived with Dad in L.A., but it wasn't until Dad was here when we moved to Arizona, and Dad happened to be singing at the state fair here. And I said, "Hey, can I do a song with you?" He goes, "Sure, that'd be great." And so we did a song on stage, and he loved it, and he loved our harmony. And he had been semi-retired at the time, in the early 80s. And so he decided, I want to go back on the road, and I want you to come with me. I love having somebody, a family member, It made it less lonely, I think, when you have your blood with you out on the road,
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy for people who aren't in the industry or have never been on tour like that to imagine it must be the best thing in the world going on tour, really exciting, going to these hotels and doing these amazing gigs. But it must get quite lonely from time to time when you're on the road.
Right. It was so funny, Dad. He would always say, "You can find a duet partner anywhere, but to have a slave on the road with you is something."
Oh,
because I did everything for him. I ironed his clothes. I did our laundry. I made sure he had his meals.
Oh, fabulous!
But we had a blast, and it was awesome because there's 8 kids. Between the marriages, and I was the oldest, and so somewhere I had to find my way. And by being on the road with Dad, we found our relationship and actually became best friends. We're so much alike, loved the same things. Although I didn't really care for golf for a while, and then he got me golfing, and then he wanted me golfing with him all the time. And then it was that's what we did. Sang and golf.
That's so wonderful.
Golf, and it was It was a wonderful, wonderful 24 years with Dad.
And it's lovely that it was obviously beneficial for both of you, not you helping him and you getting the experience of singing with him on stage, but obviously for your relationship as well.
Exactly. The most important. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Which in turn, then he could spend time with my kids, his grandkids. And so it was beneficial for everybody, actually.
So a lot of kids between you all, very expensive Christmases.
Yeah. I mean, between my mom and dad, I am one of 13. I'm the oldest.
That's
I know,
amazing.
between all their marriages. I know. So trying to fit into all that mess, I'm telling you. I think I came out pretty unscathed.
Oh, well, that's good. That's really good. And is it good being the oldest?
Sometimes, yeah. I think. I think I have more knowledge of some things, and then maybe not so much knowledge of other things, But but I wouldn't. I'm so blessed. The life that I've had, Hannah, I'm so blessed. I have no complaints.
Yeah. And do you remember a particular time when you were growing up, or when you were an adult, or when you knew and realized that your dad was famous? Do you remember a moment?
I think probably when we were in England. I think we were coming out of a BBC. He had done some sort of interview with BBC, and I had walked in front of him, and I was going to the car, and I turned around, and all these swarm of women were chasing him, and I'm like, oh my God, Dad, get in this car. They're going to rip your clothes off, And I thought, wow, holy moly, you are something.
Oh, fabulous. And did you mind? Was it nice for you?
Yeah, that was, you're just in the moment, it's funny when some people say, I used to have your dad's poster on my wall at home, and I'm like, too much information for me.
Yeah. And do you remember sort of smoozing with lots of other celebrities and singer friends of his?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I've met so many people. I just can't imagine I'm so blessed. I've met so many people. The great Ray Charles, Tom Jones, Anne Murray, Cher, John Wayne. I'm so blessed. Elvis. I met Elvis, I'm just really, wow. It's been really, I'm really blessed. Definitely.
Yeah. It must be difficult to try and think of highlights then with all the people that you've met and worked with over the years.
Yeah, I think, in fact, it was over in England that I sat with John Wayne, because Dad was doing the BBC specials over there back earlier, I think, was that in the 80s? No, it was even before that. I think the late 70s, early 80s, maybe, before I even started singing with Dad. And John Wayne was on one of those specials, and we just sat backstage talking, and just a kind man, so down to earth. And I think that's what Dad loved about me being around, because I had friends, like especially Branson. When we were in Branson, Missouri, we were there for weeks on end. In fact, at one point, we both moved and bought houses there because we were there so much. And Dad enjoyed being around my friends because they didn't treat him like he was a celebrity. They let him be a person,
Yeah.
I think I brought a lot of normalcy to Dad's world that he might not otherwise, Yeah, they just let him be him, They didn't look at him as Glenn Campbell, the star. And then we had some great times. It
must be nice when he's around normal people and people who are treating him like he's normal, because it must be very difficult when you're constantly being idolized and people kind of bowing down to you. In one way you think, oh, that must be rather nice, but to have that all the time, you never know whether people are genuine or not, I guess.
Right, exactly. And as you said that, I could meet some stars without Dad around, and they would be like the biggest jerks. Mm-hmm. And then they find out that, oh my God, that's Glenn's daughter. Oh my gosh, and then they, it's like, but at that point you're over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
too late
to be nice. I don't care who you are. If you can't just be nice, then that just shows what kind of people they are. And I was really disappointed, to some of the people that I'd met that were like that. It just,
yeah,
you just let it go.
Such a shame. And do tell us about meeting Elvis. I mean, that must have been an experience.
Well, you know what? That wasn't through Dad. That was through Billy, my stepmom. She took me to see Elvis at the Hilton in Vegas for my birthday, and it just was really surreal. I got a scarf. from him, not the ones that he threw out on stage, But yeah, that was really him and Dad were really great friends. They used to trade sunglasses together. They both had a love of different sunglasses, and so they trade them off and on. But yeah, they were very much alike, two little country boys.
Yeah. Amazing. And talking of country music, of all the places that you've performed and different gigs and shows that you've done, performing at the Grand Ole Opry, that must be a highlight.
Oh, yes, that was. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dad and I, what did we sing that? Probably Let It Be Me, I would think, because we did that quite a bit. But yeah, I've got to sing. I sang at the Royal Festival Hall, the London Palladium. Oh, come on, the Sydney Opera House. It's just, oh my gosh, the list goes on and on.
Gosh. And you've written a book as well, Life with My Father, Glenn Campbell. That must have been lovely to be able to remember all these memories and anecdotes and put it all together in a book.
Actually, I wish I would have been journaling, Hannah, all those years on the road. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that have been something? But I wasn't. And my book kind of came out of therapy for me after Dad's diagnosis. Everything changed in his world. I was not on the road with him anymore. The band wasn't on the road with him. A lot of dynamics changed. And that was kind of me writing down, my thoughts of how this little girl came to be the best friend with her dad through all the diversity and fans and business people and other siblings. And, it was just kind of like my therapy, to deal with the dynamics of what had changed after Dad's diagnosis.
Yeah. So it really helped you then, writing it all down.
I thought it was a lot cheaper than going to a therapist.
Definitely. Brilliant. And how did your new song come about, Sunflower? It's written by Neil Diamond, isn't it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love him. I just love Neil Diamond. In fact, I just saw him on TV the other day and I'm just like, oh my God, you were so wonderful. He was like so much a part of my childhood as far as music. But Sunflower, I love sunflowers. In fact, my logo is the Glenn Campbell logo, but with the sunflower in the middle, for my Debby Campbell Good Time show. And it's just, Tony said that you need to I love criers, Hannah. I love doing like Wichita Lineman. And by the time we get to Phoenix, all the criers, he goes, you need an upbeat song. And so I thought, well, I'll do Sunflower then, and I love Sunflower. I want to release Try a Little Kindness, because, I'm doing tribute shows to Dad. And I never thought I'd be singing his music ever in a million years, but I love it. I love it. It just keeps me with him,
Yeah.
And so and Sunflower, about the time I recorded it was when the war broke out in Ukraine, and that's their flower that they had, it's just there's so much tied up with that song.
Beautiful. And how lovely to be able to, I know you never saw it happening, but to be able to record his music and pay tribute to him and feel connected to him at the same time.
Exactly. Yes. And so many artists. Oh my gosh. I don't think there's an artist out there that doesn't at least do one song of Dad's to pay tribute to him because he was such an iconic figure, as far as his guitar playing, his voice, everything. Dad was just the package.
Yeah. The Rhinestone Cowboy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do you see in your future? What kind of things would you still like to do you think? Have you got things that you're still wanting to tick off the bucket list, as it were?
Yes. I want to come and do a tour in England.
Great.
I want to come and, I know. In fact, Europe, I just would love to go all over Europe and sing, bring tribute shows to Dad. Dad's, singing his songs and just talking about him and making memories, more memories,
Oh, I think that would be wonderful. I think that would go down really well. I think combining music with stories and anecdotes about him and your life together would be fabulous.
Right. And I let people ask questions, during the show, if there's something they want to ask, it's like a storyteller series,
Yeah, perfect. Oh, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, keep in touch. And if we can get you over to Spain, that would be brilliant.
Oh, I would love it. That would be awesome. Well, thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. And do you want to introduce your song? I've got it ready to play.
Yes. Everybody, I hope you enjoy my version of Sunflower. written by the great Neil Diamond and recorded by Glenn Campbell and now me, his daughter.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Debbie. You take care.
Thank you, Hannah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
To make it like a sunny day. Sunflower, fair warning, I'm gonna love you if you come my way. Now if there's a chance that romance can find you, it better not find you looking the other way. Sunny time. Sun morning, good morning, and someday, man, I'm gonna make you mine. Breath away. Hey, hey, hey. Sunflower, good morning. You sure do make it like a sunny time. Sunflower, sweet morning. For every time I'm gonna make you mine. Someday, man, I'm gonna make you mine. Ooh.
Oh, fabulous. Debby Campbell there singing Sunflower. It's available from all the usual outlets if you want to download the song, and part of the money will be going to the Alzheimer's McLaughlin Research Institute.